to me the demons call when they do what they do. And now I feel like taking off, find a place with a view. The pain is never gonna stop if it's controlling you.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the YouTube channel over here at the Shop Discovery Brian's. Been over here a few minutes working on race car, trying to get it ready for Knoxville. We are definitely not going to make it to Darlington this weekend. Still got a lot to do. Randy's on the way over here. We're going to work on his for a little bit tonight as well. But let me show you what we got going on, what we got to do to finish to get ready for Knoxville. January 14th, back at the track. Turbo John's backwards brawl. I hope you guys are coming to see us. We should have a good car count. Right now, the weather is looking good. Fingers crossed. Hopefully it stays that way. It was looking a little sketchy earlier in the week. But, you know, we're still 7 days off, essentially, from now. So it could flip-flop a couple times. But hopefully we're going to be fine. It's going to be a good time. Come see us. Check it out. Go to turbojohnracing.com. Grab yourself some merchandise. Comment, like, and subscribe. Thanks, guys. All right. So we just done us an oil change here. I got 8 quarts of fresh oil in it. So we're going to start there. I think I had 9 in it last time. I actually might end up going to 10. I'm not going to do the accumulator. That's definitely not going to happen. I'm going to go ahead and get a return order and send that thing back to Summit. It's just too big. We cut the filter open on it night before last. Everything looked pretty decent, so I think we're okay there. So we did get the racing oil filter on it this time, the Wix one. I was looking at flow numbers. I don't know that the stock internal pump will flow this much oil, but the stock Wix one only flows about 8 to 9 gallons per hour, or is it per minute? Per minute, I think it said. This one actually flows 28 gallons per hour or gallons per minute. I can't remember which way it was done, but the other one was like a 21 micron. This one is, I think it said a 60 micron. I've been looking at the Clearview. I may just get a Clearview filter at some point without the additional filter here. It's just basically a screen. It's a sieve. But I could get it, they recommend the 100 micron or 115 micron, I think it was, if you run over 50 or 60 weight oil, which we run straight 50 and 20 W50. So we do run a thicker oil in this motor. If you run a thinner oil, they recommend the 60 micron. But that would be nice to be able to hit it with some air instead of cutting the filter apart every time. You'd be able to see in the screen. Probably can save some engines by doing that. I remember Big Chief, he was having issues with his Pontiac motor, and he'd make a pass or two. They'd keep the air out of it and it'd have bare material. They were fighting it. They finally figured out how to get that solved. I don't know what the problem was. But so, yeah, that's what we're doing over here now. Got that done. Bowling the oil. This oil's only got like 9-10 passes on it. Several, attempts at spooling. So it looks pretty clean. We will filter it. But that's one of the things a lot of people, some people do it on the car if you got heaters. I've got a pan heater in the actual pan, but it doesn't get it this hot. This is, once it gets about 175, it really starts rolling pretty good. But 180, 190 is, all it is. It's just a regular plug-in hot plate. Not that big a deal. Let it run here for probably another maybe 10 or 15 minutes. It slowly comes up, and then I'll filter that oil, and then we'll use it one more time, bowling out any of the methanol, so it should be just fine. Budget racing, it is what it is. Hopefully the vacuum pump will make it so that I won't have to change oil quite as frequently. There's a lot of people that change oil every race, but it's not in my wheelhouse, in my budget to do it that frequently. So we're gonna crank this thing up, see what kind of oil pressure we got. New fresh oil in it. Randy's gonna be over here in a minute, so we're gonna work on his a few minutes. We're going to put his battery in it. I also did look at some old data logs. The data log from the last pass that we made at 710, the voltage drop during the pass. Now, granted, all I have on is potentially the water pump, but most of the time just the ignition. But the voltage was 15.5 volts. When you look at the beginning of the year, the voltage was about 16.2, 16.3. So I think we definitely have a battery cell issue. So we're going to find out in a few minutes. He's going to bring his cell battery over here. This one, we'll send it back to go lithium, get it rebuilt. And I might just switch over to a big AGM. I got plenty of room. I got to add weight anyway. I can slide it back there behind the CO2 bottle, or go ahead and put it all the way back in the back, just so I can have a little bit more cranking power. There are some cars, if y'all watch any of Chief's videos, Jackie's car, man, her car turns over Looks like it's got 24 volts. I have no idea what starter they got or what battery they got, but man, it turns over phenomenally fast. So, all right, guys, here we go. Done. You see it's got real big bubbles coming up through there now. It's been going for about another 10 or 15 minutes. So I'm gonna just turn the hot plate off and let it gradually cool down. And then this will be good. I'll filter it. What I'll use to filter it is a paint filter that you use to pour paint in a gun. Basically, you gotta do it when it's hot, because if you do it when it's super cold, it will never flow through. And then we'll just rebottle it, put it back in, mark those as used one time. I reuse it once, and then we'll toss it in the trash. All right, so I was just looking at that startup video, and there's a spark that just came from somewhere down in this area. Now the starter's up there, so I don't know what that is. So we're going to investigate that. Maybe that's where my problem is with the current draw. I don't know what that spark was. It's either the ground or the positive, and it happened after I let off, after it started. That's odd. Let's investigate that real fast, see if I see it. All right, guys, so the car cranked up fine. No issues, got good oil pressure, but we saw that spark under there, and so me and Brian were just under there looking, and where the spark generated was right, this is about the angle the camera was right there. So it looks like y'all were right, we need more grounds. It's jumping from the mid plate to the chassis. So we're going to get some more grounds. I'll get those stuck on there just to help out as well. I mean, it's starting fine, but that was kind of weird the way it did that. So I'm gonna go get another probably 4-gauge cable and go from the block or the starter over to the chassis somewhere. Randy bought another fuel pump. He wasn't very happy with the way this one, the other one was mounting, the one from R&R, so he got this one from Alki Digger, which we had to use the mount in there, the spud from the R&R kit, but it looks like it's going to work. This is also from the R&R kit. The ones they sent was way too close, so we're taking two kits and making one. We also had to clearance the bottom over there. Randy was not happy about having a grind on it, but I went inside so he didn't have to deal with it. Yeah, he didn't have to witness it. Now something we're going to have to figure out with this one is where we're going to do the cam pickup. So we may have to move the cam pickup. Yeah, or we might be able to mount it in here. Wouldn't it be nice if we could, well, that wouldn't be in the right spot though. So we're gonna have to figure it out. I think he's gonna get a shorter one of these. He's over there now putting the bracket on it, or Brian's fixing to try to set this thing in there to get it so that it fits.
Smart, I'm keeping up my guard, I'm hiding every card, or a flush of love, you never know what's hard. With a back to the mat, gonna see where I'm at, I'ma fight like I'm mad, I'ma be something that they can never be me. Nice try, but they'll see I achieve everything while they stay salty.
All right, well, we are struggling. One of the reasons, this oil pump and this block, this is the only feed for the block back here. And when you slide the oil pump up there, the header also comes through this same space. And so to get the oil pump close enough to the block, we can't get oil into the fitting. So we're talking about putting a real tight 90-degree fitting in there. I mean, that might be better, but I still don't know that it's going to be enough. We can move the bracket back probably one space. We have to take the pump apart and you have to restack the stages, but that still ain't going to give you enough room to make it happen. Because if you move it all the way back out there, then of course you have the issue with there's too much hanging off, you know, to the front because the belt's pulling. So you want this bracket as close to the front where the pulley is. Otherwise, I mean, it would flop around out there. So we could probably move it back one, but I mean, that's not going to help any. So that's kind of about where it needs to go right there. I mean, Brian, you almost going to have to mount it there and then just let Jason figure out what to do with the headers. I think. I mean, or maybe we just let Jason, you know, take it and figure out, because I don't know how he's going to route the headers with it there. He might have to come out through over here where the tire goes, Brian. Dude, let's go get dump truck pull headers, like come up to the top.
I know that make you happy.
We could put twin turbos on it. Just put a turbo on top of each header. Okay, so we're still looking at it. I don't know. It's gonna be very interesting. The fuel pump stuff's gonna work out fine though. Fuel pump is not an issue at all. Camshaft pickup, we're gonna have to figure that out.
Quietly, opinions violently thrown across every surface. It makes me nervous. It's the world honestly burning. That's all I'm learning. Hope that we can make a turn and start reversing.
All right, guys. So we come up with a little solution. That's a 12 AN. This is the only feed to this block where the oil's got to go in. That's the oil filter spot. So we found a fitting that is a 12 AN O-ring, 90-degree low profile, and instead of the hose coming way out here, it'll go back, and we put it straight on it. So that'll give a little bit more room. So he's ordered one of those fittings. That fitting is like $90. That's the only one we could find that would work though. I mean, it's crazy. So he's going to order that fitting, and then probably just go ahead and get it over to Jason Braswell. Braswell is going to definitely have to redo this header. Even with that low profile fitting, that pump just cannot go real close to the motor just because that fitting's there. Like my motor you can feed oil in the back, the bottom, the top. But for some reason, this Shelby block, I don't think it was designed to do exactly what you're doing. Is it? Because Shelby's not really into race car stuff much, are they? Not really.
I mean, that's all they are, race cars.
I mean, but like 2,500 horsepower though.
No,
they're not that type of.
Well, I mean, all four blocks have the entry for oil in the same place.
So they don't do it like Chevrolet where you can have multiple entries. Once again, Chevrolet is better than Ford. Is that the problem? What do you mean? What y'all about? All right, guys, he's gonna figure it out. So it's coming along. It's getting closer. We are going to have to figure out the cam pickup. The way this one is, see that cam sync is way under there. You can see the pickup on that bolt down in there. That's actually got the magnet in it. So it's gonna have to come out. We might be able to drill this and get it so that it would be right here. But we might end up sending that to Kevin and them and letting them locate it and get it on their machine. Because that's like one of those, if we drill it, we don't have any adjustment. So, I mean, having adjustment is usually a good thing. So, we just want to make sure that's there. Or we can put the cam pickup where it's supposed to be. The cam pickup is supposed to be where that hole is. The cam's got a gear on it still, right? Yes, it does.
I have no
It does.
No,
It'll drive right off the cam, right?
Yeah.
Because it's just a distributor with no oil pump.
I'll have to take that off and look in there. I don't
It's
know.
not there.
You're lying. I'm pretty sure it's in there. Randy, when everything's under there, you won't be able to see it anyway. That'll be the easiest thing to do. But
Yeah.
just, I mean, a $250 MSD cam sink in it. So that's what Shannon's got in his. But I mean, he's got an oil pump in his too
I
down
put
there.
it in everybody's.
I mean, it works good. You pop that off and it'll just sit. It's low profile. I mean, that would be the easiest thing. Randy don't want to do
And
it
it's
there.
billet aluminum.
And it's billet aluminum. And it's got a nice LED flashy light that flashes.
It's red.
Yeah, it does. Oh, that's right. When it's running, it'll be red LED
Okay, well, let's
flashlight.
buy one.
Done deal. Don't fucking cancel.
That would be the easiest thing. I'm not gonna lie, but we'll let him figure it out. He's got to figure out what he wants to do. I mean, just because the cam sink is,
Spend $500 getting it located in Kevin.
It-
Might as well buy the cam.
it'll cost at least that because it's gonna have to. I mean, it's just not gonna fit. And then we were thinking, okay, well, let's put it in there. But if you look in that window, that's going to be not in the right spot. It's a little bit too wide. Then it's still not in the same, not right spot. So we'll have to figure it out. Still got some work to do. We'll figure it out, make it work. All right, guys, comment, like, and subscribe. We'll see y'all later.